It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome back, folks, to the November Notre Dame playoff push. I got to tell you guys, man, this is exciting. It's just the intensity of November when you're in the mix is quite fantastic. There's nothing like that energy. When you feel it building around the country and everybody's kind of stacked up there waiting to see how November ends up and where everybody ends up ranked, there's nothing quite like it. And it's just great that Notre Dame's in the mix. There's a lot of different topics to go over. I'm going to leave it to you guys a little bit to determine where you want to go. If you want to talk about those playoff rankings, potential scenarios, where you want teams to win or lose or whatever you want to happen, we could talk about that. Where Notre Dame's position, where they may go. I know some of you are a lot smarter than I am of figuring out. Somebody on Patreon this morning posted, here's what needs to happen for us to host. And there's a list of all the games that go a certain way. Here's what would need to happen for Notre Dame to be in trouble. And then they list, 18 different scenarios of what would happen. It's beautiful to be in this mix in the middle of all this drama. Okay. So if you want to talk about the playoff scenarios, God bless you. Let's do it. However, let's not forget, none of these playoff scenarios matter at all if Notre Dame does not win the next 3 games. So listen, I love the playoff thing. It's good for clicks on YouTube and everything else. Everyone here understands clearly if Notre Dame doesn't win 3 more games, none of this matters at all. And it's all an exercise in futility and frustration. So, that's a good question. Did the leprechaun mask finally melt? Yes, it actually did. So you got a Michael Myers Halloween mask with the Notre Dame hat on. Literally, after all these years in the weather, sitting at those tailgates, the leprechaun mask started cracking. It got wet, then it dried, and the nose is cracking, and it's kind of melting on itself. So now you got a Michael Myers creepy mask with the eyes looking into your soul. The leprechaun mask is in the basement, but it has seen better years. It's seen better years. ND playoff position needs a little chaos to improve the spot much. Yeah, there's some things to look at there about how this could shape up or not shape up for Notre Dame. Anybody worried about Notre Dame getting bounced completely out of the field? Or are you looking at how does Notre Dame position themselves back into a hosting seed somehow, which changes the dynamic? Correct me if I'm wrong. Show us the mask. We want to see your mask. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think any of the road teams won in that first round of the playoff last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Indiana certainly didn't win. I don't think any of the road teams won. So, it's not saying that somebody's going to win on the road eventually. I'm just saying that's something you're looking at. And when you're at 9, you are 1 spot away from a hosting seed. What needs to happen to get you moving? So I don't know. So if you want to talk about the playoff, and I have a couple notes on that, we could certainly do it. We also need to talk about Pitt. Very, very interesting dynamic here with them and Narduzzi pouring on the praise for Notre Dame. America's team. We don't even need to win it. Who cares? Don't fall for it. Narduzzi hates Notre Dame with every fiber of his being, and he's pulling the ultimate Lou Holtz. Oh, we can't beat these guys, but behind the scenes, he knows he's building his guys up for the moment. Don't fall for any of this Narduzzi. It doesn't matter if we win or not. Don't. He's pulling a Lou Holtz, and you've all seen it and heard it and know how Lou does it. You build up the other team, public, but behind the scenes, you're cranking up your guys for this. So, Jimmy, great point. Win your games, worry about seeding later. That's a fantastic point. You gotta rat doozy. I like that, Sly Fox. You gotta. It's difficult because as fans and media, you can look at the playoff scenarios all you want, write articles about it, get your clicks on YouTube. You could do all that. Ooh, that's a good one, Jay Carr. Juicy. Careful there. If you're a fan or a media member, you can afford to talk about the playoff and all these scenarios or whatever. I need to know this team is focused. And you know what? I think they are. I think this team's going to be ready. I think they know what's on the line. I don't usually, I see you guys lining up to get on the show. We got a special guest coming on first with that. There's the link. Special guest we haven't heard from for a while coming up. This one isn't another game, John. This guy's made it personal over the years, show the team highlights of all the crap he's talked. Listen, man, he doesn't like Notre Dame. He's made it crystal clear. He's crying about us tampering. He's always mad about something, whatever. He's pulling the ultimate Lou Holtz. Here's where I'm going to start with this regarding the Pitt situation. Normally, whenever Notre Dame goes on the road, and it's one of these noon starts, 11 a.m. my time windows. Whenever Notre Dame's in that scenario, one of my talking points is always, is Notre Dame going to be awake and ready to go right at the kick, or do they have to ease into this? Being a Sly, you might be onto something. Is this one of those moments where Notre Dame's going to kind of sleepwalk and have to wake up because we don't play a lot of those 11 a.m. window games? You have that concern. I don't have that concern. I just wrote an article about it this morning. I don't have that kind of concern. This is a different scenario. This is not a random September road game at 11 a.m. against somebody you never cared about or heard of. Notre Dame knows what's on the line. Marcus Freeman knows what's on the line. This team has fought back from game 2 to get back into this position. There's 0% chance Notre Dame sleepwalks into Pitt. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. They're going to be ready. Now, you got to play well. But I have no fears of Notre Dame not being prepared mentally and emotionally for this moment. This is like the buildup of what they've been fighting for all these weeks since the first 2 frustrating losses. All right? They're fighting their way back, and you're getting to where the light at the end of the 10-2, that door's cracked. You could see the light at the end of that 10-2 tunnel. They're going to be ready for the moment. You just got to play good, right? I have no doubt that they're going to be ready. You just got to play well, okay? That's the key. But they're going to be dialed in and ready to go. I think this team they feel the moment. They know the moment. They've earned fighting back to be on the window of this playoff thing. They know what's going on. But don't fall for this Narduzzi stuff. He's pulling a Lou. And you all know that. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications on so you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar, always Irish rat, always Irish shake. Emails, always irishhead@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you do not want to see my face, nobody blames you for that. Audio only, wherever you get your pods. Notre Dame on SI, read all about it. I got an article for you every single day of your life. In the season, in the off season, it doesn't matter. I got something for you rattling around in this Irish brain of mine, whatever I got left anyways. Patreon.com/always Irish. I got to tell you, Jared Clark is an all-star breaking down this film. Him and Mike were up. It was like 11:30, close to midnight. I'm sitting there behind the stage watching those guys break down the offensive film. Jared Clark's so good. Jared Clark knows offensive football. That's why he's literally the hottest high school football coach in Florida. Do you know what a big deal that is to have one of our Notre Dame guys, one of Goolsby's teammates, be the number one guy coaching high school football in Florida? I'm grateful that he's on my team. Link in the description. Join the Patreon for whatever run we got left here this year. So this is really interesting. John wants to write articles on recipes to make with saltine crackers. Hey, listen. Sometimes all you need is something to fill up your stomach. You get them saltines out of the box. You eat a whole rack. You know, they come in the little long racks. One of them's just about right to soak up your stomach and make you full for a while. There's nothing wrong with an old saltine meal. Remind you of the potato famine or something, man. You don't need nothing fancy, just something to fill up your stomach. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. Whoo, boy, there's a lot. Okay, let's start here real quick. The Notre Dame hatred it's quite impressive. It's quite unbelievable. From every different corner of the internet, there are people that hate Notre Dame. And once Notre Dame becomes a tangible threat, they come out of the woodwork. It's just been amazing to see where it's coming from the Miami people. Then it was the BYU people. Then BYU lost and played terrible. They got quiet. Now it's the Texas Tech coach and their people. On top of the national people, that Ari Wasserman at On3 national guy just despises Notre Dame. Or I think he's actually been pretty favorable to Notre Dame in some instances before, but now he's all about Notre Dame getting a free ride and all this. It's unbelievable. But yeah, the BYU fans were running their mouths because in that first bracket, it looked like we would match up with them, and they got all chirpy. They could barely score a point against Texas Tech, and now I haven't heard a word. It's weird how that works out, isn't it? So now it's the Texas Tech people, whatever. I'm trolling them on Twitter, and I just simply wrote, if you weren't lucky enough to have the ground you're on have oil come out of it, no one would have ever heard of you. And now you got enough money to go buy a bunch of good players. Welcome to the table, I guess. Good for them. Good for them, but I don't know where they get off acting like they're world beaters that have a trophy case full of credibility. So whatever, man. Embrace the hatred. Love the hatred. When you are an outlier and you do things different than everybody else, you're going to take the heat. It's healthy. It's good. And I wouldn't want it any other way. If you get to this time of the year and Notre Dame's not getting a lot of heat, that means you're not in playoff position and you don't matter. I welcome it all. I welcome it all. So I love seeing the discourse of everybody losing their mind about Notre Dame on Twitter. I will say this. Just keep winning. Just keep winning. That is all you need to do to shut these people up. The more you win, the more it bothers them, and you let the play talk. Now, that being said, I still do a fair amount of trolling online. I want to test these people for philosophical consistency. All right? It's a big deal to me. Philosophic consistency. So what I want to know is, were all the Miami people that have been losing their minds about Notre Dame being higher than Miami in the rankings despite the head-to-head, are those same people saying Louisville should be ranked ahead of Miami because of the head-to-head? Because the last I checked, Miami's at 15 and Louisville's at 20, and they have the same amount of losses, and Louisville beat them head-to-head. Are those people that are on Miami's side advocating for philosophical consistency, saying Louisville should be ahead. They should be ahead of them. Head to head, same amount of losses. I'm just wondering if that consistency's there. I'm just wondering. So whatever, man. It's a good position to be in. A couple of updated notes here, and then we'll get to you. Couple chats, we'll get to you guys. Couple updated notes. Number one is later on today, 27 hybrid safety Khalil Terry is making his announcement. Notre Dame feels very, very good about it. And we are going to have Jack Sullivan break down his film if it does go the way that Notre Dame people think it's going to go. Okay? So, Ari Wasserman said it's not the same. Of course. See how we can manipulate the facts and the data to fit our narrative? Everybody can do that. It's a popular exercise on Twitter to pull all of the data and narratives that support the angle you want and ignore all of the other ones. All right? That's the game you play on Twitter. With all the modern analytics and every different way to analyze things, you literally pull all the data that supports the argument you want in your emotions, and you ignore all the other data that shows the other side. Everybody's doing this on Twitter. They all feel like geniuses, and it's just a lame exercise, to be quite frank. So by the way, so Khalil Terry, we're expecting good news on the Notre Dame front there. We're going to have a video for you literally breaking down all of his film over on Patreon. So link in description if you want to see that. What character is that lampshade? It's a Michael Myers mask, but it looks weird over the lampshade, and his eyes look a little bigger. It's a Michael Myers mask from Halloween. I think I took it off and put it on there. The leprechaun's face melted. Give me a break. The leprechaun's face, it melted. So I wanted to update you guys on the Khalil Terry situation. I also wanted to say this. I really want to thank this Always Irish community, the chat, the Twitter, the tailgate people, the YouTube people, everybody, the Patreon group. In the last few weeks, there have been multiple instances of our Always Irish people connecting with other Always Irish people to help each other out with various life issues. And a lot of it is some people are in a field that could be very helpful to a Notre Dame, one of our Always Irish Notre Dame people that needs some help or advice in a certain area. And I have seen multiple instances of our people connecting and helping other Always Irish people out with some of this stuff. And a lot of it is pro bono, like for free advice. Some of it is discounts on different things people do for business that Notre Dame people need. I just want to say I'm really, really proud of that. And it might be one of my favorite parts of all of what this has turned into, to see you guys helping each other out with different stuff, given your backgrounds and your jobs and your career or experience. That means the world to me. More than the channel growing or whatever else. I love how this is getting to be where everybody's helping each other out. And some of it I didn't even know was going on. And then somebody would email me and be like, just so you know, man, like this guy's really helping me out with this problem. And then another phone call I had yesterday about a different situation. It just means the world to me. It just means Rick James says community. Unity. I had to mention it. It means the world to me, man. You guys are fantastic to each other. And that's what this is all about. The people. So I wanted to mention it. So thank you guys so much for doing that for each other. It makes me feel good. So if my job here is to simply be a conduit that connects all these Notre Dame loving people that can help each other out in life, then maybe that's just my little role here till I stroke out in the basement. All right? So thanks for that. Yeah, always LinkedIn. That's kind of what it's turned into, which is awesome. It's awesome. But I never could have expected this to turn into what it did with all of the all of the real friendships and how close a lot of these people have come, man. It really does. It's the best part about doing this. It really is. So welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. This is going to be a fun one. Let me do a couple of these chats, and then we'll get into our guests. If you are on a hold, you're going to be on the air. I have not talked to Shane Gillis lately. He was on a fall tour and was really busy. Schedule messed up. Haven't seen him in the chat. Like he's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing. So good for Shane. Hopefully he joins whenever he has time. We have our own chat shows when John has no internet. By the way, I'm still mad that I found out that internet outage was intentional. That pisses me off. It's not, I thought, we had a storm come through, a tree fell on the line or whatever magic radio waves make the internet these days. No, I end up reading that it was intentional. Somebody must not like Notre Dame. Pat Narduzzi on an undercover trip or something with some bolt clippers. The hell's going on here? I don't approve. Okay, so let's do some of these chats, and then we'll get into you guys here. People were asking, why was BYU so going at Notre Dame so hard last week? I think it's just because in that first ranking, we were lined up to play them. And then they went off acting like they're the best team ever and wanting a piece of Notre Dame. And that lasted all of 3 or 4 days from Tuesday to Saturday, to where they couldn't even barely score a point all day in the biggest game of the year. Zip it. 10 to your 6 wives and go away. All right? How about that? Could somebody tell me where all this BYU and Texas Tech shade's coming from? Yeah, well, that's the BYU angle. I have no idea where the Texas Tech angle came from, but it started with the coach opening his mouth about Notre Dame. So whatever. Good for Texas Tech. They got a couple owners whose backyard has an oil well in it, and they went to the portal and bought a bunch of really, really good players, and they're in a conference nobody thinks that much of, and they're rising to the top. That's how it should go. Good for them. Let's see what happens in the playoff. I don't know what else to say about that. Philly special. Y'all called me crazy after USC for saying we got a good chance hosting a playoff game. We're at number 9 knocking on the door. Yeah, man, there's a blend here of what needs to happen with some of these games. I'm telling you, the one I have circled. Oregon and USC. That game intrigues me a lot. Oregon, USC. And if USC somehow beats Oregon, USC with 2 losses is going to see a big rise. But they're not going to rise above Notre Dame because Notre Dame has the head-to-head. And unlike the Miami Notre Dame head-to-head, Notre Dame's still trending up. That's the difference. If you're like, well, how come you're not philosophically consistent? It's different when both teams are trending up, right? So if USC somehow was able to beat Oregon, USC sees a big rise, Oregon drops, Notre Dame stays above USC. That's one potential scenario there to get Notre Dame bumped into a hosting seat. BK's got the Bayou State all stirred up. Oh, buddy. It's the gift that keeps giving. I expected what happened on the field to happen with him eventually, rubbing the donors and the media the wrong way eventually. I didn't expect all these gifts. It's absolutely amazing how much drama there is and confusion and lawsuits. It's amazing. So good luck with that. I'm just glad it isn't my problem. Do we want Texas or Georgia to win this week? I feel like Georgia will drop behind us if they lose, but would Texas jump us? With Georgia and Alabama, yeah, here you go, Domer guy. We want Georgia and Bama to put Texas and Oklahoma out of their misery. 3-loss Texas or Oklahoma stays behind Notre Dame. If either team wins out, they would jump us. Here's the question I have. The question I have isn't about like a 2-loss Oklahoma or Texas that gets these big late season SEC wins would jump. That's expected. That's not the question. The question becomes, how far would Georgia and Bama fall with the November 2nd loss? I know those other teams would rise and they would deserve to. The question I have is, where would the losing teams drop? There has got to be a stiff penalty for losing in November. And maybe you say it isn't fair. Every game's 1-12. If you're Notre Dame and you lose week 1 or whatever, it just works out. When you get this late in the year, you get penalized more for those losses. When you have those 12 teams stacked in that playoff so tight, there's got to be a penalty for losing in November. So I know the other two would rise and they deserve it. How far down did the other teams drop with that second loss? That's a question I have. Rick James, it's good to see you here, buddy. It's good to have Rick here. He's just unwinding. He's just getting started.
I'm just getting started.
He's just unwinding. He's just getting started.
I'm just getting started.
I love my sound drops. I don't care if you don't like them. How about that? How about that? Look at this. I still feel we get in at 10 or 2, but getting less confident each week. Not enough teams around Notre Dame are losing. There was a scenario put on the Patreon chat this morning of what would have to happen to keep Notre Dame out. Man, there's like 12 different things that would have to happen, all have to happen to boot Notre Dame out. It's keep winning, and I'm more thinking, how can you get into a hosting seed, man? I really am. Tex ND, welcome to the show. Here we go. For as much crap as I gave Ash for the first 2 weeks, I have to give him credit for the last 7. The defense has been outstanding. Here's the deal. Choking myself up. Here's the deal. Back in August, there were these computer-generated scenarios that were pumping out defensive projections. They projected in August the Notre Dame defense to allow an average of 14.5 points per ball game. Outside of the first 2 games, Notre Dame's defense has allowed 14.4 points per game in the last 7. So outside of those first 2 nightmares where you didn't know who you could play and what to run, you have been right at that projection. And by the way, and weren't you leading the country in interceptions not that long ago? I don't know if that still stands. They've done a good job. They've done a good job. Rick James is just putting all the one-liners. Yeah, I just remember grinding my feet on Eddie's couch. What am I going to do? Like, it's something to do. What am I going to do? Just go grind my feet on somebody's couch like it's something to do? I got a little more sense than that. Then they cut, and he goes, yeah, I remember grinding my feet on Eddie's couch. Blank your couch, blank. It doesn't hit the same when I got to blank out everything. Blank your couch, blank. Oh, man. Whenever I see Texas Tech fans arguing with John on Twitter, all I can think is cocaine's a hell of a drug. A lot of these people with the playoff scenarios and the way they're thinking of it, I think I know what they had for breakfast.
Drugs and alcohol.
That's what I think they had for breakfast. Some of it makes no sense. If you ate Notre Dame enough, you could find a reason for everything, man. It is 10-2 is not a lock. 6 2-loss SEC teams upset in the championships. Can you even get that, though? Like, who's it going to be? Is Texas going to beat Georgia and A&M? I would bet against that. Like, you're not going to end up with that because Texas is not going to beat both those teams, I don't think. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Michael. Georgia won't drop behind us, and Texas will jump us. You want Texas to lose, Georgia to win. I'm just saying there's got to be a penalty for losing in November. And if other teams are on an 8-game winning streak and you lose, something has to happen. But yeah, Texas ain't going to win out. You can't count them as one of those 2-loss teams. If they do, they do. But I would really put the odds against that. That's tough finishing stretch. Tough finishing stretch. So I don't know, man. It's really, really interesting. So I think I'm going to start just by saying I think Notre Dame's going to be prepared for this moment. And here's the angle I'm taking. I'm just going to throw this out here, then we'll get to the people. Notre Dame's going to be ready for this moment. And I want them to use the confidence of Pitt's young quarterback against him. That it's not like Carr where he won the job in August and everything, and the whole thing was built around they pulled their guy after 2 losses, put this 18-year-old freshman in. They've been trending up. They haven't lost since. They're feeling themselves. He's playing well, runs the ball, by the way, a little bit. He averages 10 totes per game. 10 per game. That guy takes the ball and runs with it. You got to be aware of that. But they haven't lost since. They're feeling good, okay? Use that against him. Because I got news for you. All those games they won, they have not faced one defense that's half as competitive as Notre Dame's. They have not faced a defense in this winning streak with an 18-year-old quarterback that could present the athletes Notre Dame does. They have not. So I want that guy to be confident. I want him to feel like he's overconfident, and I need Notre Dame to take advantage. Under no circumstances can you let this freshman 18-year-old ruin your playoff thing, and he has the game of his life against Notre Dame. No. So I like the fact that they're trending up. It's different. I think it's different when a guy wins the job in August and he's the starter and all that. I think that is a different ramp up than the way this one has been, where the guy wasn't going to be the starter, gets the job in the middle of the season after 2 losses, and then they literally just played no one in the ACC. So I think it's different the way this is built. I want to overuse that. And the other thing is most of this is him driving the offense. Notre Dame's got those 2 backs. Most of what I see from Pitt is that guy driving it. They do got a couple wide receivers you got to pay attention to. Okay, let's get into our people that have joined via link. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Give me a second. Here we go. Look at this. Look who's joining us live. Dr. John.
Hey, Johnny.
This
How
is
you
awesome.
doing, bud?
This is awesome. Thanks for joining, man. You're better at the technology than me at double the age. No offense.
Oh, no, I think I just lucked out. I looked at this as a challenge. I wonder if I could get in there and do this stuff. So,
hey. You look great. The shirt's on point and the backdrop is a classic, Dr. John. Look at you. You're ready to host your own radio show.
I'm ready. I doubt if anybody wants to hear anything I have to say, but, I joined just because you got all these great guys, Frolley and Cotter and Tim, Mark. They all break this stuff down so great. And I just don't do that. I mean, I'm just going to add some human interest to this thing. It's a Wednesday morning. You're going to get serious later on. So I promise I've got some Pittsburgh stuff, but I wanted to show off my wall. It's full of stuff. I mean, you've already seen it because I sent you a picture sometime back, but I don't know if you remember, I'm looking right here is a picture of Lou Jack that was on Life magazine back in 47. Got it autographed by my brother, and this is a picture of him actually signing it. So, but I don't know if you remember that call, but I first told you about it. And my whole purpose in life is to try to get you to laugh.
Yeah, it's well, right now the chat's getting me to laugh because they're wondering if your bottom half is in a hot tub. That's what everybody wants to know. They're figuring you're in a hot tub and you're the ladies are off camera and you're in a hot tub to start the day.
No, this is my bathroom.
Doc, so let's catch up a little bit, man. Notre Dame has really fought back hard this year, man. From the 2 tough losses to get all the way back in playoff position. This is a very resilient Notre Dame group. I'm proud of them. The light is at the end of the tunnel, and you have 3 more games to win. And this Pittsburgh one is the toughest one left. What are you thinking about the playoff position, what we have left, and where we're at with this team? We got to catch up.
Oh, I just want us to move up one more slot. I don't know if that's even possible. It depends so much on other people. And I don't even know who has to lose to have that happen. I mean, Frolley probably can lay that out pretty good for you. But I got to stop you here because something you said earlier about community and stuff going on with other guys in the community. Main Man and I are going to have dinner together in January. So thanks for sending that info. Anyway, he's in Utah. I got to go through Utah to get to Arizona. So we're going to have dinner together down there. So
he is a lightning bolt of energy, man. Like at the tailgate when he showed up, he was the first one. He is a lightning bolt of Irish energy, and I love it, man. I'm just glad everybody's friends and everybody's connected. It's a beautiful social experiment, all bonded by the common thread of loving Notre Dame from all over the place. It's so beautiful, man. It really is.
It really is an amazing thing. The only requirement I gave him for where we meet, I said they got to have a good IPA. I said I don't want any Miller Lite. Hey, I want a real beer. So anyway, this still isn't Pittsburgh stuff, but I got to tell you, 2 days ago, I booked an Airbnb for Lambeau Field in September. So I got 8 people. I know my daughters are going to go. I don't know who else we're going to. Hopefully my brother will be in there too. So, okay. One last point before we get to Pittsburgh. You're too young, but I'm sure your dad, and I know Frolley, maybe you do too. Do you remember a guy on WGN named Wally Phillips?
I do not.
Oh, God. The reason I brought him up is your use of the soundboard. That's what he used to do all the time. His engineers had a disc with all this crap on it. Yeah. And he was fantastic. Anyway, Love and the Heisman. I have no idea why he's not being talked about. What do you hear? Do you hear anything?
Here's what I've seen. It's all quarterbacks, Doc. Every time I've seen a list, it's all quarterbacks. Like it's turning into a quarterback award. And I have not seen a list that has any player, not Love, but anybody other than quarterbacks on the list. And I'm really hoping maybe that amazing spin move, not down run will put him on the radar. You got to at least invite a non-quarterback to New York, even if he doesn't win the award. I don't know what you got to do, but nobody other than quarterbacks I've seen on these lists.
Well, you mentioned this in the post game on Saturday night too, and I was watching it with one of my daughters, and she pointed out, she said, "Isn't the statue of a running back?"
Yeah, it's just, dude.
Yes, it is. So anyway,
but Doc, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if a part of it is you have 2 good backs that split some of the carries. So Love doesn't get the typical workload of Heisman got running back because you mix it up with Price enough. So then it's up to him to make the most of the carries he does get. And I'm just wondering if that limits the numbers down. If you don't watch how magnificent it is, some of these plays, splitting some of the carries with Price, maybe that brings it down. Now some people are saying Jeremiah Smith's been on a couple of these lists, the wide receiver Kent said that. So maybe I just haven't seen those ones. But the last few I saw on Twitter were all quarterbacks. So somebody said they saw Love get on one recently and Jeremiah Smith. Good for those guys. Shouldn't just be a quarterback award. Good.
Well, I did bring it up, and I don't know, there must have been 8 or 9 guys on it. Love was the last one.
Good.
On the list I saw. So
good. So
but
keep it up.
You know, here's the deal. He's number 5 in rushing. He's number 2 in scoring. You know who's number 1?
Who?
The kicker for Pittsburgh.
There you go. I like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice little workaround back to Pitt, man. Nice workaround back to Pitt. And Doc, let me ask you.
Yes.
What's your relationship historically with the Pitt rivalry? That's interesting over time. What are your thoughts on Notre Dame Pitt?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked because it's right there on my board.
Nice.
1960. I was junior at Notre Dame. You know who was playing for Pitt? One of your heroes, I'm sure.
Who's that?
Mike Ditka.
There you go. Yeah. Just a couple years ago.
Well, we'll move forward to 76. I was at the Pitt Notre Dame game. That was Tony Dorsett's game. Killed us.
Yeah.
He wins a Heisman that year, though. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Then the other game I was at with my daughters was we lost it in 4 overtimes to Pitt.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Were you at that game?
I wasn't, but I remember it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I'm
so I don't know, Doc. I feel good about this. I think Notre Dame's prepared for the moment. They're an 11.5-point favorite. I know they have more talent. Like, you just have to go in there and play your game, and Notre Dame should win this football game. I want to have respect for Pitt as a tough opponent that's going to play their ass off. Notre Dame's a better team, and they got to figure out a way to check this box and move along.
Okay. On a Wednesday morning, I have one more thing for you. This video stuff, I really like it because I wanted to show off this wall, of course.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is, just in audio, I never had to worry about what I had on. I mean, it was always grungy or nude or something, you know. But
you're about to get the channel banned.
but now, and I'm sartorially challenged anyway, so I had to bring out the best thing I have, my most formal thing, and here it is, of course.
That's classy. And by the way, Doc, there is the option to do the audio only on this. You don't have to show it off. You could do the audio only and not do the video. But if you want to show, if you got it, flaunt it, baby.
Yeah. Well, 2 months ago, this was what I wore to a wedding. So that shows you it's top of the list in the closet. So
that's classy. Yeah, that's classy.
Anyway, I love that the visual thing is because, next time I call, I'll pull something off my wall and explain it because there's a lot of history up there too. But anyway, the main things non-Pittsburgh wise were main man having dinner with me.
Oh yeah.
And already booked for Lambeau, but let's get this season done too.
Yeah, that Lambeau is going to be awesome. I think we were going to go in 2020, I believe, but the virus ruined that trip. But that has always been a destination I wanted to get to. That's going to be awesome, and you got a lot of time to build that up, Doc. Anything?
Are you going to do it? Are you going to go?
I don't know. It's tough with the work stuff to be able to do all that at once and not miss out on the work stuff. So I don't know. I still got some time to figure it out.
Well, it's a Sunday game.
Yeah, it's a Sunday game. I also think Goolsby's wedding may be that the day before. So I don't know what the schedule is going to be. We'll have to see.
Well, now is Goolsby getting married or is it one of his kids?
No, it's going to be him. So I think it's going to be. I think it might be Saturday to make it so that we can still see the game Sunday. So we'll see what the plan is.
Did he find her in a home somewhere that I might be able to visit, or what?
She is man, wonderful, just wonderful, and it is. So I think there's just a lot going on in early September. So we'll see.
Okay. Anyway, this was great. I love the fact that you can do this now, and I shall return.
Hey, thanks a lot,
Uh,
man. This is
okay.
awesome. I really appreciate it.
Okay, but have a great show.
Have a good one. Oh man, it's just good to hear from him. Good to see him again. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You guys are hilarious with the chats. Just hilarious. Skater, the Pitt hater, $5 howler. Pittsburgh is not beating Notre Dame with that bad offensive line. 24 sacks given up, no balance, bad secondary. You could forget about Pitt winning. It's interesting, man. There's an angle here for Notre Dame to seize control of this game and take it over. So I don't know. This is it's going to be really interesting. I need Notre Dame to honestly take care of business. Let's keep it moving. Adam, what's going on? If you're on old behind screen, you're going to be on the air. What's up, Adam? Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. This time of the year is energizing for me because there's so much going on. You have the playoff drama, November football where everything matters. Everybody ripping on Notre Dame. It's just beautiful to be in the mix. You're going to get some recruiting news today. There's a little bit of everything going on, and I love being in the middle of it.
It's incredible. It's an incredible time. And I'll tell you, did you or me or anybody else really think that we were going to be here come week 3? After 2 losses? I mean, it's like you said, it's just like finding money and you're just like, okay, I'm rolling with it. We got a new lease on life here. And so at least in the football world. So it is pretty incredible. I do want to start off by saying it's good to hear from Dr. John. I was going to ask you because we hadn't heard from him in quite some time how he was doing. So it's good to hear and see him.
Yeah, it's good. And him and I have kept touch behind the scenes, but he's had some schedule changes and some things going on Wednesdays or whatever that was his normal time. And then we kind of changed the format here a little bit. But man, it's just a joy. And again, there's another connection with him and Renee hanging out. Like, it's just an amazing thing. All these people connecting, man. If that's my little role here on earth, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And it's another incredible thing about this show. Just to bolster it up even more is that kind of human element. And with that, going into the Pitt thing real quick, I think the biggest thing that we need to do as, the Notre Dame brand here is to make sure, especially on the field for these players, is to not let the human element come into play. And what I mean by that is the fact that if you allow Pitt to get any kind of hope or any kind of thought that they can win that game, then they're going to start rolling with it with the momentum of home field, of the hatred that the coach has, all these different things.
Yeah.
And that kind of human element, sometimes it trumps over all the other stuff about, you look at the statistics, our strength of schedule and strength of record is like 13 and 30. Theirs is like something like, I think it was 35 and 91, meaning that there was 90 other teams that had a better strength of schedule than they did. They don't have the capability on a day-to-day basis to hang with us. But what they do have, and this is the special thing about sports just in general, is they have the human element. And if they believe enough, there are times, especially if you play the way we did against Boston College and not the way we played against Navy, that where they can take advantage of that. So take the human element out of it is something that I'd be looking for, just in the get-go. Just go in there, take care of business right away, jump on them, suppress that crowd. As mediocre as they'll be, they're still going to be there, and just take care of business, and you should be good. But if we're hanging around in that third quarter-ish, and just something else, and they're like, hey, man, we're still in this, that's where I think things could get problematic.
One of my, I always write about this whenever Notre Dame goes on the road and it's that early window. I always write and talk about, is there going to be an adjustment period there for Notre Dame to wake up? That's not a window our home games usually fall in. They're 2:30, 3:30 at night. A lot of our road games end up being prime time. I do not have that worry, Adam. That I do
No.
not have that worry. This team knows what's on the line, and I think they feel that they're close to running this string out and making the playoff. I think our guys are going to come out focused and fired up. And if I'm wrong, then I'm going to punch myself in the face all afternoon. But I think they're going to be ready, damn it.
Yeah, now, John, it bodes better. It bodes better for us that it's 9 a.m. And we talked about this, or, well, I guess noon kickoff there.
9
But
a.m. Dude, the good thing for you is you don't have to sit around all day in California stressing out. You can put a little liquor in your coffee and get it going right away, baby.
Oh yeah, no, we're set to go. We're set to go. I like the early kickoffs for us because it's like I don't I'm not pacing around the house. I'm not going doing 15 different things or whatever it is and thinking about the game the whole entire day and then getting back here and having to deal with it. It's just let's get in there, let's handle it, and then the rest of the day, hey, let Alabama. And this is what people have been talking about, and it is true. You want Alabama to win. You want Georgia to win. You don't want. They're not going to slide behind us, and then you're going to have two teams in Texas and Oklahoma who have a better win than we do. And then that's how they jump over. So you don't want the leapfrogging to happen.
Okay, I am not, Adam, I am not sold that if either one of those teams catches a second loss and Notre Dame keeps winning, that they don't drop behind Notre Dame. I am not sold on that. There must be a stiff penalty for losing in the regular season in November. You can't just not penalize that. You don't think those teams would drop below Notre Dame if Notre Dame's on this big win streak and then they catch a loss in November? You don't think so?
I would actually be shocked, John. And the reason why is because of who they play in their schedule. It's just, we don't have those premier games going on right now where they do. And I think there's still a lot of the SEC bias. I think there's a lot of the Big Ten bias and that kind of thing. Well, not so much Big Ten this year other than the two top teams, but you do have a lot of the SEC bias and how their strength of schedule is playing out. And I think that if they were to lose, and it would be at home, which would be a much harder loss to take, especially in between the hedges and especially down in Tuscaloosa. So you're looking at those being two hard losses, but they're against two teams that are on the rise, coming back up out of the gutter, and they're making their move. I don't know that they would drop us. What's that?
If Texas ends up beating Georgia and A&M, then they deserve it. I just don't see that happen. I really don't see it happening. But if they did, then man, good for you. That is a hell of a way to end a season. If you end up with both those wins, good for them. They deserve to move up then.
Oh, completely. I mean, they have been having to play a gauntlet, and they still have to play Arkansas, and Arkansas can put up points. And so that's the thing. It's you start sleepwalking because you're thinking about Texas A&M. It's a total trap game. So these next three games for them at Georgia and then Arkansas at home and then Texas A&M, which is going to be an absolute monster of a game down in Austin. It's going to be very difficult for them to win out. What I do predict happening is that I do think that the home teams win. I do think that Alabama and Georgia handle business. It's not a shocker to say that, but it's something where it's that would also be the best thing to bode well for us. Because when you look at it, the teams that are in front of us, who cares if Ohio State or Indiana drop? If Ohio State loses to Michigan again, I'm just going to laugh because that is 5 years in a row. And I mean, holy God, that would be just a very interesting turn of events to continuously happen year in and year out. Indiana is not going to matter if they drop one game. Texas A&M is not going to matter if they drop one game. But when you get to number 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, now you're starting to look at who's in front of us. I don't want Alabama to lose. I don't, because if they do lose to a team like Texas, then who's right on our heels, that's where things are going to start leapfrogging. Now, would Alabama then come behind us? This is where the human element comes into play with the committee. And that's why when you were talking about it in the beginning of the committee, the very first one of the rankings and the last one are the two most important, because one, you get to understand what it is that they value. And then two, the last one, obviously, because now you know where you're going to be seated, and it's just you're not moving from there. You just go play. But the ones in between let you see how they're making their adjustments, what they're valuing. look at what they looked at for head to head and where they put Miami right now. And it's like, okay, they were at 18, now they're at 15. Is there a chance where they win the ACC championship and they have 10-2 or really 11-2 and we have 10-2? They, under their rules of what they said that they valued, would leapfrog us with the head-to-head competition. So there's so much possibility of movement here and different things that can happen, and that where you need, as Notre Dame, we need the best case scenario as much as we possibly can. And that would be, somewhat stability in the front for the first like 1 through 5-ish. And then after that, now I don't really care. Like, I'll tell you right now, if USC beats Oregon, that's fantastic for us, because Oregon's now tied with us in record, be it that we win. But then USC, who we have the head-to-head, which the committee should value, would keep us in front. It's things like that start, but again, there's like 18,000 different possibilities and scenarios. And that's Adam, where it all comes down to one thing, John. You have to win all 3 of your games.
You got to win all 3 of the games. But when I look at like the most likely way Notre Dame could leak up into hosting area, I think Oregon USC is one of Notre Dame's best chances, because you have the head-to-head over 2-loss USC. And we would both be trending up, so you don't have the Miami Notre Dame effect where that head doesn't matter. And then Oregon, who's looked a little shaky, they would drop. That is like maybe Notre Dame's best chance to bump up to hosting, in my opinion.
There is right now, and again, there's so much movement can happen, but there's so many different scenarios that people have put out there of the playoff bracket and like who they think could happen or how this might happen if this team won out or whatever. There's been a lot of Notre Dame going to Oregon and a lot of Oregon going to Notre Dame, where they just feel like it's going to play out somewhere in there. You could have the Georgia Tech thing. You could have a couple things happen. And hey, you know what? As long as we're in the playoff, I'm happy regardless. But if we can get into a hosting position, how rad would that be to just, again, have that kind of atmosphere at South Bend? You know what? Throw us up on Friday night again. Do it. I want to be that first game. I want to get in there. I want to get this done just like we did last year, get that victory, and then let the chaos happen the next 2 days. It's just, that would be incredible, an incredible position. But, it comes down to it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. Maybe I'm misremembering this. I don't believe any road team won in the first round of those playoffs last year. It seemed to be a huge advantage, whether it was cold weather or warm weather, to be hosting those games. So
exactly. Tennessee had to go to the shoe. Obviously Indiana, they should be good with cold weather, but they came to South Bend. But South Bend was, I'm looking at it from a TV, and I'm very much an atmosphere guy. Like, I love the atmosphere. And hey, Dr. John, I'll see you there in Lambeau Field, buddy, because I was looking at that same thing 5 years ago, and I'm going to be there for that, strictly for the atmosphere. I mean, Wisconsin, we should mop up, but it's that atmosphere. It's the Lambeau Field. It's the whole feel of it, right? And it's the same thing,
Adam. I think it feels kind of Notre Dame-y up there. Like, it doesn't feel as professional. It feels more like a family, like a smaller, tight-knit family type community thing. Like, I see a little overlap, like as much as you could for a professional city and setup. It really is a good, like a cool blend. That's going to be awesome for everybody that can make it. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for starting off your day with us in California.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. I would say this, that you're absolutely right about the atmosphere up there and the family feel and all that kind of thing. As a 49er fan, I travel around the country. I go to different cities. I deal with all the fan bases in different towns. And I have not been to Lambeau yet, but I have been to plenty of games at Candlestick against the Green Bay Packers and now the new stadium. But every time that fan base comes in, they are the most welcoming into our place. They're just like, hey, how are you, man? You guys are really playing a good season. I mean, it's like a weird, bizarro type of land. There's not a lot of yelling. There's not a lot of craziness. It's not like the Seattle fans or Philly or whatever, where you got to kind of be on your guard. And you just sit there and you're like, this is very pleasant. And all I've heard about it is, not that I want to sit there and have a pleasant conversation during a football game, but it's more the idea that you just know that we're both there for the right reasons. And so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll say last thing going out is that we need to just focus in on our own stuff. It's fun to get in the weeds with all the different scenarios and all that, and I'm deep in it right now, but it still comes down to winning. So let's get in there. Let's handle business against Pitt, get out and go handle, go have a great senior day. Unfortunately, Angeli won't be playing against it, but you know what? It'll be fun all the least, and then off to sleepy Palo Alto, and then just go on in, man. I mean, it's put right there for us, John. It's put right there for us. So let's go get it.
Let's go get it. Hey, join me if you have time Friday morning. Do your final prediction as we all get ramped up for this, man. This is a big week for Notre Dame. Hey, enjoy the rest of your day. Get those kids off to school, man. Take care of yourself in California.
Love you, Johnny boy. Take care.
Have a good one, buddy. We're going to go to Liam. He's on the move. Dude, listen. John, how much do you pay Kent to show up here and stir the pot? Listen, man. God bless the guy. He's not a Notre Dame fan. He's an Ohio State guy, and he is one of the most loyal people to this show. You always know what you're going to get. Kent's going to be here, and he's going to be trolling you. And if he ever misses a show and something happens, I get an email from him trolling me there. I appreciate the loyalty from Kent. I know a lot of you blocked him, but I genuinely appreciate the dedication as somebody who's not even a Notre Dame fan to be here every single day. It's honestly impressive if you guys think about it. I'm not even mad. And it's just every day he's got an angle. Nope. You're wrong. Unbelievable. One of these chats I wanted to hit, and then we'll go to Liam. Dr. John, when I'm your age, I want to live your life, says Pat Cotter. When I'm Dr. John's age, I'm going to be dead. I ain't even worried about it. The way I stress out, 85. I don't think I got 85 in me with all this Notre Dame stuff doing this show. Pat will be out there golfing, shooting under his age at 85. Pat's got his longevity, man. Pat's going to be around. He's one of them guys that's going to shoot lower than his age as he ages. Andrew Gilmore. Narduzzi's playing possum with the comments. Look at the remaining schedule. After ND, Georgia Tech, and Miami. If you lose out 7-5, maybe fired. Pitt's going all out to win this game. Andrew, before you joined, I mentioned this, and I said, do not believe any of this Narduzzi. We don't need this game. Notre Dame's America's team, whatever. Don't buy it. Don't believe it. He's pulling a Lou Holtz. What's going on, Liam? Good morning, buddy.
Hey, Johnny, how are you? I'm almost going back to work for my lunch break. I'm in New York, so I'm an hour ahead of you.
How dare you work?
Well, I got to pay money. I got to make money somehow. It was either this or dancing on the side.
Yeah, you could do Big Nose OnlyFans. Who knows?
I keep getting someone in your chat last week or a few days ago said my beard needs an NIL deal. I thought that was a great comment.
I like that. Just for men. Yeah, you got something going on there. I like it.
The Narduzzi comments, I think they're the biggest loser comments that could be out there. We don't care about this game. We don't need this game. I know there might be some semantics or some psychological stuff going on there, but why would you ever put that out in public?
Yeah, I saw a lot of Pitt people have a bad reaction to that. And that is why it's triggering to me that it's all a big facade. And it's one of them things where you lay all the praise on your opponent in public. Then you go in the locker room and you say, guys, we're going to go beat these blankers. Like, I am not falling for it at all. I know the guy hates Notre Dame with every fiber of his being. This is the ultimate say one thing in public, tell your guys something else. I guarantee, man, this is all a setup and nobody should buy it.
But as you've said before a bunch of times, Marcus Freeman always has us ready for big games. So I'm not worried at all. I think we're going to come. I think we're going to stomp them. And I think we'll be talking Saturday night about, does this move us up in the playoff rankings?
Yeah, man, it is. I can see some scenarios looking at Pitt and some of their weaknesses where if Notre Dame takes advantage, they could really impress. But I could also see some scenarios where you are stressing this one out and it's a grindy, physical, typical Pitt Notre Dame game over the years, and it ends up kind of stressing you out. I can see both. It's up to Notre Dame, man. How are you? And the other thing, I say it every week, man. Get off to a good start. It's just so important that, draw blood first. Get off to a good start, especially on the road.
I think that you and I were around the same age. You and I are used to the close Navy games, the close Pitt games, the close Purdue games under Weiss and Tyrone Willingham and even Bob Davie. And it's like, at some point we're going to have to outgrow that, or like shed that, what do you call it? The scar tissue that I wish you saw.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
We're going to have to let go of, 1 or 2 more years of Freeman, and we're going to have to let go of that because it seems to be a thing of the past.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point too. Of that, as the talent level in the Notre Dame program has gradually continued to rise, you do end up having more margin. And over time, you should see less stressful games and a higher winning margin against kind of not elite tier talented teams as Notre Dame's talent rises. And maybe some of those you sweat out that were a 3-point win become a 10 or a 14-point win or something like that. That's a very good point of how you look at that. And listen, man, this 18-year-old quarterback's getting to me. Really, really good momentum. I've seen highlights. He makes a lot of plays. He can run a little bit. Man, you have got to take advantage of this kid's confidence.
Well, and once again, you're having Brian Kelly or Charlie Weiss, Tate Forcier flashbacks, right? We got the guys, we got the studs on defense to take care of this. We can handle running quarterback now, right? There were 4 or 5 years where if a quarterback was dual threat, Shoelace, Denard Robinson destroyed us, right? I'm still having nightmares of that, still going to therapy for that, but that's a thing of the past. I think we need to try and get over that.
Yeah, it is, man. And I feel like the Notre Dame program knows what I just feel like they know the deal, and I always talk about some teams phasing out in November, losing momentum, you don't have the energy, whatever, you just kind of fade away.
Right.
Other teams rise. Man, I gotta think, even though it was just Navy, there's a lot of momentum that those players took out of that game. And you know what else? A lot of the backups. That matters to me. They got to get a lot of run, build some confidence themselves. The starters were happy to see those guys succeeding and making plays. There's a lot to like.
Yeah, I agree, Johnny. Listen, I have to run. I got to go back to work. Go Irish, and I'll talk to you on Friday. Thank you so much.
Have a good one, man. Sorry you had to run. I didn't get you in time. I love these people that are at work. It's hilarious to me. I love these people at work. Oh, now we're debating Marcus Freeman's hairline, man. I don't know I don't understand. I'm getting old. My hair's falling out. I'm balding. I'm receding like the ocean. I can't even get into the Freeman hair. That's a whole different thing of how that hair works and everything else. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm doing math in school right now. Not good at math, bro. Not my strength. I taken them tests to get into grad school, and my verbal score was like a 99 and my math was like a 49, bro. It averages out to say you're not that smart. Unbelievable. Let's have Renee pop on and off. And we got Tom Frolley waiting. I know he's got thoughts.
All right, man. What's up, baby? Just going to give it real quick, man, because the OG's waiting, so I can't keep him waiting that long. Real quick. Big, bad, beautiful Utah, homie. Rough, rugged, and raw. Anyways, I got to always show that. Because just like just like the Irish, man, you get a little bit of everything from the Irish. You said it best. This brand is as big as it is because, look, Dr. John's in Montana. I'm in Utah. Adam's in California. You're in Chicago, right? But we all meet up, and that's what makes Notre Dame so good. Notre Dame so special. Hey, to Coach Val, right? Coach Val on here on the chat. Never met him in my life. My little baby niece Layla is on his daughter's little league team. They're all together. They're both Notre Dame fans. How about that? Hey, Layla's your youngest fan. How about that, huh?
It's a beautiful thing how it all connects, man. And you got all these different people, whether you're an alumni, whether you're a Subway alumni, no matter where you're from, we're all together for Notre Dame. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Right? Hey, this is the only thing I want to touch on today, man, because dude, you guys are bad influences, man. I've been going on other chats and trolling them because of things they've been saying. I've never done that before, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of fun. Johnny's a bad influence. But to touch on that, like I said last week, um, to touch on that, didn't LSU come after Kelly because they thought that he was gonna do whatever, right? And so, don't they? Didn't Florida and LSU now want Freeman? You know what? Nick Saban 6-6 at Michigan State. Here's numbers for you: 6-5-1, 9-2. Couldn't do shit in the Big Ten. Nick Saban is too the fake GOAT. Okay, he really is. You guys can challenge me all you want. It's the effing truth. All of most of Lou's disciples went to win national titles in other conferences. Okay, and in the Big Bad SEC. Sarkisian couldn't do shit in the pack. Neither could Kiffin. But because the SEC's that weak, they really are, John. They pretend like they're really that good. They're not that good. They're not. I'm like this whole talk about, oh, if we jump this because this, and as far as Texas Tech have all that money, we've seen what the Cowboys have done in the last 20 years with all that oil money. So you know what I mean. The thing is, we're the biggest brand in the world, man. We play the hardest schedule. You know what I'm saying? We do, regardless of you, or if whatever. Like I said, I pointed out the numbers for you last time on how they rigged the Big Ten for those big teams not to play each other. But hey, man, you guys look it up too. Kiffin couldn't do shit. Sarkisian couldn't do shit. Chip, half of those players on all those rosters in the pack were all from California. When Chip Kelly did in Oregon, half of his roster was from California. But they go to these other wannabe tough guy little kid conferences and they can do shit because it proves how weak they really are. If Pete Carroll did it at USC, bro, how come they couldn't do it everywhere else? And that's the truth, John. So all these coaches talking about this and that and why Notre Dame is even or this game doesn't matter. It's just like saying, is it like people that say, oh, that so and so's chick? Yeah, but that's not your chick, homie. That's not your chick. That's Notre Dame's chick, baby. Hey, John, I love you guys. Okay, brother, I love you. I just wanted to point that out to the chat, man. As far as these coaches, go ahead.
You got to get some gold spray paint, spray that hard at, buddy. So you got a golden dome
I know.
for your protection walking all over the site.
I do got to do that, man. I just, with me, bro. I tell people I don't have nice things because I'm hard on shit, bro. I'm hard on stuff. But my Notre Dame stuff, I take care of. I got a sweater just like Louise's. And I know I'm like the only reason I have my other Notre Dame hat for work because it's the first one my brother ever bought me when he got released after doing 18 years, and it means a lot to me, so I keep it close. But that's like the only thing. My Notre Dame stuff, I don't buy nice stuff. I'm in sweats. Like the nicest I'm dressed, bro, probably when you see me at the tailgate, and I had jeans on. Hey Johnny, I love you guys, man. Onward, Notre Dame is gonna be a good one.
Have a good one, man. Be safe out there, bro. God, dude, I love that guy so much. And it's really funny when he yells at the other people or they're yelling at him. But every time it happens, I'm sitting there saying,
I can't understand you. I can't understand you.
the immature, you guys have no idea. Do you have any idea what a good mood I was in when I was creating those sound drops? It is so immature, but I love it so much. I don't apologize for it at all. And I'm still taking requests for additions. I have room. You guys need to let me know what else I need to add for sure. Yeah, whenever he'll be yelling at me and then randomly break into Spanish and then come back to me and I'm sitting there.
I can't understand you. How much time you got, buddy?
Great success.
It's very nice.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, the Jim Mora playoffs is so obvious. I got to get on that one. I got to get on that. Chicago's very own Tom Frolley. What's going on, bro?
Oh, you're all fired up, and that's that's very funny. I can't understand you. Good Lord, yeah.
Hey, Tom, nobody can say we don't have a good time over here at Always Irish. There is no
Oh my,
football chat in America that has the vibe we have. And I don't know whether it's good or bad, but it's our vibe, damn it.
yeah. You know what? That's true, and that's a good segue into what I want to talk about. You got all this Notre Dame hate, and a lot of it's born out of jealousy, right? Look, you go back, you look at the top 5 blue bloods of college football, and you see the cycles in which they started to win national championships, right? We've been down for a long time, but you know who else was? Texas. Ohio State had periods of being down where they were long time between national championships.
Yeah.
The only one that consistently won since the 40s is Alabama. And that's for different reasons. Obviously, they own the SEC. But I think what pisses people off about Notre Dame, we went from, absolute mired in mediocrity. We don't matter anymore. We're not relevant. And then we had the faith. We kept telling the haters back then, even the national pundits and the talk radio people, that would come a time when Notre Dame would be back. And they never saw that path because what they see is the negativity. It's South Bend. You've got ugly girls on campus. It's academically too hard, all the crap. And you don't play in a conference. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And now the trajectory of the program of the last 3 years. And now you see the real, finally getting to the real objections of why they hate Notre Dame, because they do play a national schedule, right? We'll play all 4 corners of the country and everybody in between, and they can't do it. So when this guy starts spouting off about BYU, how much respect he has for them joining the Big 12, well, they were in a conference long before that. They were in the Big Sky Conference, and they were in. Look, they just want a scapegoat, and I don't really blame Joey McGuire for being that crusty, because let's face facts. He lives in Lubbock, okay? South Bend is not the metropolis it should be, but if you ever been to Lubbock, oh my God, it's a stark place. So you get guys like that, and then the Narduzzi hate, or the possum he's playing, and to say that he's pulling a Lou Holtz, no, he's pulling a Narduzzi, because I think he's going to have those guys ready to play, but underlying it all, he knows he doesn't have the horses. Notre Dame shows up, if they play a crisp game and come out, no mistakes, fundamentally sound, by the third quarter, that's going to be a track meet. That's just the way I see it. They don't have the defensive backs that can handle it. I know they're going to be a little stout against the run game, but they'll figure it out. I just and it sends a message, right? You talked about it earlier, where you like the fact that the younger players got in against Navy. Well, after we beat Pitt, we're going to have a chance to get the Aeneas Williams and the KK Smiths and even Cam Williams. We're going to get those type of players back in on the offensive side, which is exciting. When Aeneas Williams broke that touchdown run against Navy, I said, just the size of that man, rumbling, stumbling, picking him up, laying him down. That's exciting to know that he doesn't have much tread. He's got a lot of tread left on the tires. So the things that Notre Dame could do, they're going to need every guy on the bench if they're going to go deep on a playoff run. But right now, get these kids the experience. Take care of business Saturday. That's numero uno.
Tom, what is your confidence level in Notre Dame going to Pitt and leaving with the victory? I'm just wondering how you're thinking of this as far as like the likelihood and that confidence level, and what's giving you that.
I think they win, and I think they cover the 10.5 point spread late in the game. I think they're going to be too hot to handle. Now, can Notre Dame go there and lay an egg? Yes, they will. I don't think they will. And here's why. And this is what gives me the confidence. I do believe that Marcus Freeman has the fellas together. After that sluggish game against Boston College, he got them back on track. I don't know what happens during the bye weeks, but that's it. Now, if we had a bye week going into Pitt, I'd be a little bit more concerned, to be quite honest with you, because the track record isn't good. But I'm also confident that they turned the kicking game around a little bit, right?
Man, listen, Tom, that seems like such a small thing, but
It's
you were
not.
7 for 7 on extra points in terrible weather conditions.
Yes.
And for where this program was at, that marks as real progress. I also like the no penalties. I think a Notre Dame team that was averaging like 8.5 a game, no penalties, you could ride momentum off that too.
Yeah, but we're not going to see that Saturday, because guess who's going to be the refrigerating crew? Back to the ACC. Oh my God, they suck so bad. It's not even funny, And some of the other ACC games that I've watched this year, ACC head-to-head matchup, the officiating's horrendous. It's just amazing, but. I hope, obviously, this game is not tainted by their stupidity or just. I look. Notre Dame just have to fundamentally sound. I think Jimmy Carr. I'm going to say CJ Carr. I think CJ Carr is going to have a big game. It seemed like his rhythm is back, his touch is back. And I'm really confident now that he didn't even throw to the tight end. He didn't throw to Eli. He'll find Eli this week. I mean, between Eli, Fields, and Faison, man, I didn't think I didn't think they'd be here with that kind of receiving core this year. So, if they stuff the run, I don't think they're going to stop the pass. I really don't. I think CJ throws for over 300 on Saturday. He throws for over 300 Saturday, and they get time of possession. That's a double-digit win. So that's
I believe I stumbled upon a stat that said that Pitt's pass defense was 101st in the country. Looks like there could be some opportunities to throw the ball for Carr. Something that Goolsby was talking about on the Patreon Raw. He was saying, if there's one thing to think about, does Pitt think they could be good enough to stop Notre Dame's run game without sending extra people to the line of scrimmage? And then that would be a way to maybe neutralize Notre Dame, because if you think you could stop the run just with a basic front and then have more resources to defend against the pass, maybe that puts Notre Dame in a bad spot. I don't know, but that's also something to think about if you make the playoff and play some better defenses.
So the voice of reason amongst our little community here is always Coach Tim Hyde. Tim Hyde likes the front seven of Pittsburgh. He told me that 3 times yesterday. And they're big and they're quick and they can get after it, but the 4 defensive backs are not that good. So they're just going to have to strike. And I hope and I'm praying that they get away from that split end screen or that screen to Faison, the flanker screen. And oh my God, it's telegraphed. I mean, Navy sniffed it out twice. Goolsby said he heard him call screen pass. He heard the Navy screaming, "It's a screen!" Everybody in the stadium.
Yeah, they sniffed that out. And so I don't know, Tom. This is and you know what else? I kind of like getting this out of the way at 11 o'clock our time.
I sure do too.
I don't gotta stress out all day and pace it all over the house. Let's find out right away if Notre Dame belongs in this playoff. Get the game going. And then we could, like Andrew said, huge day of football Saturday. After Notre Dame, you got Bama, Oklahoma, Miami, NC State, nightcap of Texas, Georgia. And he says, would love to see Oklahoma, Miami, and Texas all get eliminated. It's going to be a full good Saturday if Notre Dame wins. Otherwise, forget it.
Hey, and listen, too, don't forget. I mean, if within an hour and a half radius of Pittsburgh and all of Western Pennsylvania. Look at the Notre Dame greats that have come out of Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of Notre Dame fans in a 2-hour radius of Pittsburgh. And they're going to be there. I know they're going to be there because I went online. I started talking to other people outside of this community, and there's quite a few people going to the Pitt game. And the Pennsylvania and Western, Eastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, all those Notre Dame fans, they love it. And that's supposed to be a hell of a stadium. I've never been in there, but I hear it's great. So hopefully they go and take care of business. And I like the noon Eastern kickoff. I really do.
Yeah. Tom, do you get the vibe that I have that Notre Dame's going to be ready for this? I think
Yes.
this team knows what's on the line. They fought all the way back from those 2 first games to be in this position. I think they know, and they're going to be ready for it. And I do not expect a sleepy first half or first quarter. I don't. I think they know what's going on, and I think they're going to be damn ready.
Well, the other thing too, goal line offense needs. That's where you got to keep. You got to keep Jeremiah Love. I think you got to keep him in the goal line offense. They can't. They've got to score when they're in the red zone. They got to score, and they can't give them any hope whatsoever, and then deliver the knockout punch. Outside of the Boston College game, Notre Dame owns the third quarter, and they have since last season. So by the third quarter, I think we're going to be able to smile and rest easy.
Oh, man, it would be. And there's 2 different things here, Tom. One is worrying about Notre Dame winning the game, whether it's by 1 point or 3 or 7 or 6 or whatever
Just win
it is. But the other part of it is, if you were so fortunate to play well enough to get into a point where you could really prove a point against the last ranked team on your schedule, that would be an added bonus. So, but I am setting the bar at just win the game no matter what. But if you end up in a position where you can maybe create some separation here late, that is a really, really important thing if you could do it, because you don't have a lot of those opportunities left in the remaining 2.
No, and that's just it. I think that's the message. I mean, what I would also like to see is first half adjustments. I'd like to see more adjustments on the defense before halftime. It seems like Freeman lets Ash kind of do what he's got to do in the first half, and then the adjustments come. I know that this quarterback he's got some pretty good feet, and he's got 3 really good receivers from what I've seen online. I went and did a dive on him last night, and that's a little cause for concern. But I think they're going to catch Notre Dame. Our defensive ends are going to have a good game. I think there's just too much. If we can get a pass rush on this kid, we win by the spread at least. There's no question in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You're right on it. And you got to force this freshman to beat you. You got to show him different looks. You got to confuse him. You got to bring pressure. You got to bait the kid. Like I appreciate how well he's played and how they've been winning, but you got to be able to take advantage of a kid that doesn't have that experience against an athletic defense with the guys we have. And you got to dial some stuff up.
I really think, you're going to see Tate Johnson have a huge game Saturday.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just from what I look for him to have at least 1 pick on Saturday. And if that happens, I don't care who picks it up, but they got to force this kid into some terrible situations. And he's not real dangerous 3rd and long. Most quarterbacks aren't, but he kind of pisses down his leg on 3rd and long. So the more 3rd and longs we can get him in, the better off. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be,
take off.
It's just good to be in the mix late, man. Like where your games still matter, and every game carries this weight. Like, we need to appreciate the position we're in. That you're in the mix again late in the year. This is awesome. The energy is high.
Yes.
Tom, anything else before you go take on the wild city of Chicago?
No, baby. I just KVA. I think you'll see KVA spy him or Sneed, and I like that a lot. Put a spy on that quarterback, knock him on his ass a few times very hard without penalties. Every time I think of the ACC officials, I got a genuflect, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I hope that take the game out of the officials' hands, punch them in the mouth, come home with a victory, and there'll be more crying next week. I can't wait to see who else comes out of the woodwork to piss on Notre Dame. I really can't. It's hilarious.
Just keep winning. Just keep winning. That's all you got to do. You don't have to say anything on Twitter, respond to nothing as long as you keep winning. Tom, God bless you, fine sir. Good luck in the big city.
Go Irish. We'll talk to you later.
Oh, man. We have a really good blend of callers today. The Pitt Panthers defense, D-Rock. The Pitt Panthers defense ranked 112th in the nation in opponent red zone touchdown rate. Well, that's good because you can match up how bad ours has been and then how bad their defense has been and see who wins that battle, I guess, right? The do-rag thing, you guys, man, you got to understand. I think the do-rags got sent to me right before the Miami game. And do you remember there was that, I don't even want to call it a Notre Dame podcast because no one's ever heard of any of these guys. They're not in our little media. No one's heard of these guys. They recorded something and they were saying things that could be interpreted a certain way about Miami. And then everybody lost their minds on Twitter about the racial stuff. The last thing I was going to do in the middle of that is show up here with the do-rag on. So you got to give me a little grace for reading the room. And that was a bad scenario. These guys that don't speak for Notre Dame, no one has any idea who they are. They have no credibility and no foothold in this niche. And it blew up on the internet to look at all this stuff. The last thing I'm going to do is show up with the do-rag on right in the middle of that. Now, if Notre Dame makes the playoff, maybe that's time to put the do-rag on. And I think people would maybe understand. I kind of feel like if we make the playoff, that's do-rag worthy. And there's been enough time there. Yeah, Phil, there'll be enough time there. But I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, the last thing I want to do is get in the middle of that. Yeah, but the do-rag, I do want to try it on. I mean, I'm not saying I haven't tried it on yet, and it looks pretty sweet. I just haven't done it on the air. The game's now officially sold out. Yeah, all the Northeast Notre Dame people getting in the mix. What's up, Rat?
What up, man?
What's going down?
Kind of bummed my back is injured.
Don't tell me you fell when you were doing a triple ollie or something.
I'd like to say that. I was feeling a strain when I was getting the snow off my car after work. And then me trying to be a good son to my mom. When I got home, I wanted to get it off her car as well, even though I was feeling the strain. And that backfired.
That's unfortunate. And so I need you to just take it easy and ice it and watch Notre Dame beat Pitt. What's your confidence level?
About 70 to 80%. I mean, Notre Dame would have to play a bad game in order to lose. This is how it is. I don't see Pittsburgh beating us as long as we show up ready to play. Because you know something? An offensive line that gives up 24 sacks, yeah, that's not going to cut against Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's man, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing Notre Dame not being prepared for this moment. Like I appreciate the little run that Pitt's been on. I just think this kid has not faced the defense with the athletes Notre Dame presents. And I think Notre Dame can take advantage. I really genuinely do.
Definitely. You know, KVA, I think they need to send him after that dude. That is the perfect person to go after, to put after him.
I love it.
And their secondary is not good.
Yep.
Not to mention, if you don't have balance on offense and you don't have any legit threats at receiver or legit threats at running back, you're not beating Notre Dame with that.
No, I thought that their top 3 receivers were pretty decent. I've been reading a little bit that they feel really good about those top 3 guys this kid's been thrown to. I don't know if you're a believer in that or not.
Honestly, when their stats are just as average about as our stats at receivers, I'm not buying it until I see it. But to be honest with you, when Larry Moore is on one of them, it's ball game. If he can shut down Mekhi Lemon, he's definitely shutting down whatever good receiver they have.
Yeah, it's and Andrew Gilmore has a good point. I need a big game from Knapp. Needs to protect Carr. Pitt's going to put 10 in the box. Carr's going to need to throw us to victory. You're going to have to get good protection. It's been good in pass pro lately, but you haven't really played a lot of good defensive fronts. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh, like I said, if their secondary is weak enough and if they take advantage of it, it's over. And yes, I understand the third-rated run defense, but what running backs were they facing? Average Joes from the bums they faced? Come on.
Yeah, it's man, this is going to be this. I just can't wait to get there. I'm glad it's at 11 o'clock. Let's get this thing going. I want to see what we're going to do and hopefully enjoy the rest of the day. If we win, it's going to be an awesome day to watch all the other games. And if we lose, then I don't care what happens. I'm going to hate everyone and hate my life.
Yeah, I know. I need a win. It's bad enough that I can't skate when it's nice out this Saturday. I would like to get at least a Notre Dame win to cheer me up some.
Yeah, it's that's kind of what we need to happen. And then I don't know. What do you think about Notre Dame's playoff situation? Do you think they can move up to a hosting seed? Do you think they could get lapped by Texas and Oklahoma and drop out? Like, where's your thought at on this bracketology?
Well, you know what? Texas and Oklahoma, they're going to have to win out, which I don't see happening. I mean, Oklahoma, they're going to have to go to Bryant-Denny Stadium at night. And correct me if I'm wrong, Texas, I think is at night, or it could be during the day, but either way, they're not going to win in the Athens.
Yeah, it's man, I'm telling you, Texas has got a rough road, man. If you beat Georgia and A&M, God bless you. You deserve to move up. If you would do that, move right ahead of Notre Dame. You deserve it. Like if they run that, they have earned it. I just don't think it's going to happen. Maybe one, but not both.
I don't think either. I really don't. I had to see it to believe it.
Yeah, so I don't know, man, but it's exciting. I'm just glad to be in the mix. I love everybody being mad at Notre Dame and hating on Notre Dame. All you need to do is keep winning to keep pissing these people off. You don't need to do like me and spend 4 hours a day on Twitter trolling everybody. All you got to do is just keep winning games.
Well, I'll say this. If Notre Dame manages to sneak in a playoff spot, and which I think will happen, and also if I also believe my back will be healed by then. I'm kick flipping in front of touchdown Jesus for you.
I think that would be ideal, but I just don't want you to get injured. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for checking in. I hope you're feeling better.
Not much. I just, like I said, hopefully, which I think will happen, my back will be healed before Thanksgiving. Like I said, I don't know what happened, but I'm trying to do everything I can to heal it up.
Yeah, well, hey, take it easy, man. Ice pack and sit on the couch, watch some football. Have a good day. Hope you feel better.
You too. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for the donation too, man. Have a good one. I hope you feel better there. We got to get him back skating. Tony Hawk Jr. Texas might have found some here at the end of the season. I'm worried that they could pull the upset over Georgia. The question to me becomes, Andrew, where would Georgia fall? That's the question that I don't have the answer to. I'm saying there's got to be a stiff penalty for losing regular season games in November. There just has to be. So the question becomes, they would catch that loss late. You would expect Texas to move way up, But how far down does Georgia go? How far down does Georgia go? When you have other teams like Notre Dame that are on this big winning streak, haven't lost in months, and then you lose a big game in November for your second loss, I want to know how low you go. Does Notre Dame end up in between then? I have no idea. But I do know this. None of it matters unless you just keep winning. What happens if Oklahoma somehow upsets Alabama? I think you're in a similar scenario then. How far? I want, when you have all these, when this bracket is so tight and you're at this end of the year and everybody's stacked like that, there's got to be a big penalty for losing in November. There just has to be. So whether you keep them in but drop them at the bottom, I don't know. But I just know there's got to be a stiff penalty for that loss, no matter how good you think the team is. So I don't know, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see. I don't know what to make of it. All right, you guys, I'm going to get going. I got some stuff to do. Let's see, Kent. I'll tell you this, John. Notre Dame doesn't jump them. You can tell the committee's debating Notre Dame's strength of schedule. Miami might even jump them. No, you're just trying to trigger everybody. You set the precedent already for Notre Dame and Miami. I'm not worried about that one. But I don't know. We got to see. We just have to see. Just keep winning. I can't worry about all this crap at the same time. I don't have the brain power. Just keep winning, Notre Dame, and see where you're at. And you lost 2 games. If you're in the field and not a home game, I don't give a crap. Go on the road and beat somebody. Go on the road and beat somebody. I just need you to be in this field to have a chance at it. That's all I need. Keep winning. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate it. When this announcement drops for the recruit, hop over to Patreon. We'll have a full film breakdown. If it doesn't indeed go Notre Dame's way, which is what we expect, Khalil Terry will have that film for you over on Patreon. Then we're going to do what are we going to do? Me and Jack are going to do the full Pitt preview on Patreon, and that's Thursday. Friday, I've never done Reddit stuff. I got invited to do a Ask Me Anything thing for a couple hours on Reddit. So I'm going to go over there. If that's your guys' jam, go over to the big Notre Dame Reddit. I'll be over there answering Q&A questions over there Friday. And then we got the game Saturday, and I'll be live on the post game, and we'll break it all down. I love this show. I love this group. You guys are fantastic. Have a good one, everybody.